What's going on, Knicks fans? Welcome to another edition of Knicks Latest. We are going over all the Knicks headlines, all the rumors, all the acquisitions, everything on the internet that we can find about our favorite teams, the New York Knicks. Please make sure to subscribe. We're trying to build a nice community here of New York Knicks fans that want to have critical discussion, that want to cheer for the team, that are looking forward to the most anticipated season in New York Knicks history, I would argue, outside of the 70s, right? This is the first time in a really, really long time we have a shot at winning the NBA championship. So make sure you subscribe. We're going to be coming here every weekday with the latest Knicks news, Knicks headlines, all that good stuff. Now, let's get things started. Mark Stein still says that LeBron to New York is a possibility. I don't think it is personally. There are too many hurdles to go through here. Rich Paul and his agency are not friendly with James Dolan. LeBron does not like James Dolan. I know he likes playing in Madison Square Garden, but that does not mean just because you like playing in a building that you're going to go there and uproot your whole life just to play there. It doesn't make sense with the roster. I think the Lakers would ask too much for LeBron James, and I don't think that with the way this is going, with going 2 games away from an NBA Finals berth, you want to blow up the core of your roster for a man who's going to be 42 years old. It doesn't make any sense. I know he's LeBron James. He might be the best player of all time. I get it. And he's still one of the best players in the league. I get that. But bringing in LeBron James is going to alter the DNA of this team too much. It's just not worth it. I don't understand the hype around this. I don't understand why anybody who's a Knicks fan would want this. You can appreciate LeBron James and his greatness. You can appreciate LeBron James for what he is and still understand that this does not make sense with the roster that the Knicks currently have right now. Don't know what that trade would look like. Don't know if that trade would be preseason, during the deadline, or what. LeBron James might retire at the end of the year. So this would be a very short-term, short-sighted move when I think the Knicks have a championship window that can be open for the next few years. This is not something that I think we should entertain as Knicks fans. This is not something I think that we should entertain as a Knicks organization. I know that this is going to be something that comes up from time to time in the media because they just love making narratives and things of that nature. And here at Knicks Latest, yes, I'm going to talk about these things because they come across my newsfeed, and so I want to address that. But I'm also going to be honest with you with how I feel, and how I feel is that this doesn't make any sense for the New York Knicks. Love LeBron James, but I'm not giving up younger players such as an OG Anunoby or Mikal Bridges, or even a Karl-Anthony Towns for that matter, whatever that looks like, to get a LeBron James who every year we don't know if this is going to be his last year, who wants to take control of an organization, who has the power to make decisions in the front office throughout his career. Just does not make a lot of sense to me. This team already had a huge makeover last year, sending Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Karl-Anthony Towns. To me, that was a huge risk. So, why would we do that again? We're just figuring out this squad now. Let's continue to figure it out. We have a new head coach. Let's see what he can do with this roster. And let's not blow up this core for a 40-plus-year-old superstar. He's not the right guy to do it for. If it was Giannis, you might be able to convince me. He's still got years left in the tank. It extends the window, or it keeps the window right where it's at. But LeBron, you basically shorten your window for this year, and I don't think that's worth it. So I get LeBron might love playing in New York City. Maybe it's always been a dream of his, but it just does not make sense at all whatsoever. Another article came out saying that the Knicks should target Garrison Matthews, who I'm not mad at this. I'm not really sure if a lot of people are familiar with Garrison Matthews. He's somebody who can hit the three. He's a guard. I wouldn't consider him 3-and-D, but he's somebody who can spread the floor. The more shooting, the better. And he's tough. He's somebody who, has been a kind of a nomad around the league, hasn't really found a spot yet, was previously with the Atlanta Hawks. Somebody who I think if he takes the vet minimum makes a lot of sense here. For me, I think having Deuce and Jordan Clarkson pretty much solidifies the 1 and 2 on the bench, right? So someone like a Russell Westbrook doesn't really make a lot of sense. Somebody like Ben Simmons doesn't make a lot of sense, even though he is taller and he can play different positions, as you would say. That doesn't make a lot of sense. I do think that we don't know what's going on with Josh Hart as far as his role is concerned. So if he goes back to the bench, you're going to need some shooting, and Garrison Matthews can provide that. This is the type of prototype that I think the Knicks should be leaning on. I am not mad at this at all. Now, does it happen? Not sure if it happens. It might. But right now, it seems like the Knicks are leaning towards the Ben Simmons idea. There have been rumblings about Landry Shamet, which I wouldn't mind as well. But if I were to build a prototype, it might be a taller version of Garrison Matthews, essentially. So if this were to happen, I would be cool with that. His name has just been brought up. This is something very new to me. I don't think it's likely to happen. I'll say 5% chance of happening. There's still veterans out there like Amir Kofi as well who can fit, who has size and length and can play the wing that I think would be good for this Knicks team. And I think the Knicks would consider those players over Garrison Matthews. All right, let's close out the show. Mohamed Diawara is staying in the United States of America. Now, he played in France, had a decision to make. He was picked 51st overall by the New York Knicks. He impressed a lot of people in Summer League with his play. Everybody said that he reminded them of Pascal Siakam. He didn't shoot the three ball well, but he did other things really well. I was very impressed with his court vision and his playmaking ability. That's something that I didn't know he had. That's something that I think we should be welcoming as Knicks fans. My one criticism for this Knicks team is that they don't really have a lot of guards or playmakers. You have a Karl-Anthony Towns, who's a fantastic passer. But outside of that, Jalen Brunson really is a shoot-first point guard. He can pass the ball when he wants to, but that's not his forte. Then you have someone like Josh Hart, who also can make plays, but he's a little erratic, and he's not somebody you want to actually rely on. So the more players you can get who can pass the basketball, make plays, the better. That's why I'm a big Tyler Kolek fan as well, because he's somebody who you can give the ball to and he can create for others. Diawara can show what he showed in Summer League with his ability to get to the hoop and also make plays for other. I think eventually down the road he can find himself getting some minutes in games where we are resting like an OG and an Obi, in games where maybe even like a Mitchell Robinson's out or something like that, and we go to a small ball lineup. I think he's somebody who can crack the rotation there, and who knows, maybe he's a pleasant surprise that sticks at the back end of the rotation, him and Gershon Yabusele. So glad to hear that he's staying in the United States. I think that's great news for the Knicks. An exciting pickup, for a second-round pickup to see him play the way he did in Summer League, I think was really exciting. All right, well, that's going to do it for today's episode. Knicks Latest. Let me know if you want LeBron James. I don't think I'm in the minority here. I think most Knicks fans agree with me that LeBron James to the Knicks at this point just does not make any sense. This isn't 2010, 2012, whatever it was. Let me know what you think Garrison Matthews. Would you prefer somebody else? And let me know what you think Mohamed Diawara's ceiling is for this year in particular. Do you see him latching onto the rotation? Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the video. Drop a comment. I'll see you tomorrow for an episode of Knicks Latest. Peace.